Alright, welcome back everybody. Thanks for checking out the channel. If you haven't done so, I appreciate it if you were to subscribe, and if you hit the bell, you'll receive notifications of future videos. So, I'm over here at hive number 3. I've made up my mind. I'm going to reduce this double deep brood chamber down into a single deep. It's also going to be a routine inspection, and given the time of year, I'm checking for swarm cells and to make sure the queen, or the hive is still queen right. So, I was in this hive last week. I marked a few frames that had queen cells on them, and since I'm reducing it down to a single deep, the queen cells, one was capped and one was almost capped, are up in the top box. So I might just reverse the top and the bottom box to make it simple, and then slide the queen excluder down on top of the first deep. So just gonna pop the top, take a quick look at the honey super that's been on for a while. I believe it was an established super, meaning it had some drawn frames on there. I may have checkerboarded it as well, so either way we'll see in a second, just because I really can't remember. Let's give them some smoke. And you grab some more fuel. It's nice having a natural fuel source all around me. Makes for maintaining the smoker pretty easy. Alright, let's see how they're doing. It's a better sign than usual to have more bees in the super. Oh yeah. Take a quick look, show y'all. Not the best, but as you can see, they're onto some kind of source, because that's some nice, bright, new white wax there. So I hate disturbing them, but at the same time, I always like to see what's going on. Slide the camera a little closer. There we go. And let's just go for the center, which is usually where they work first, or what they work first, I guess. Set that down. Yeah, it's got some nice weight to it. Alright, they're working away. It's pretty early too, it's only mid. Oh, that's strange. It's only mid, let's take a look at that real quick. Huh. What in the world is going on here? So that is capped. I wonder if at some point, because I didn't always have the queen excluder on, and I was pretty sure there weren't any eggs up here. It was hard to see though, but maybe there were. That looks like capped brood actually. Let's check out the next frame. Now just a few on that center frame. Yeah, they're capping some honey finally. So yeah, maybe there were a few eggs in the super, which it's not a big deal. I left the queen excluder off for a good amount of time to entice the bees to come up into the super and start working it. And then once we started having a little more of a nectar flow, I put the super in place. Alright, well, they're doing their job. Just going to slide this over inside the outer cover. And I'm also going to remove the feeder and replace it with a more established frame. So this colony, let's see, got a few things going on here that I need to make sense of. That was just a placeholder type frame, but I do have a lot of frames in here, more than I would like. I really don't have anything going on with it. And the bees just use so many resources drawing out new frames. Like this one. I mean, they're doing a good job of that. But still, I mean, that's 4 frames worth, you know. Queen clip. Have that ready. So I'm pretty sure this is old brood from the previous queen. I think this hive re-queened themselves at some point, and I just didn't catch it. That is kind of concerning to me, all of the uncapped cells with, what's it called? Mature larvae in there, so that's something concerning. And the very last frame in this top box has a queen cell. So I marked the top of the frame. Took advice from somebody on Facebook who suggested to mark the top of the frame, so the next time you go through the hive, you know which frames had queen cells last time. Okay. This is a good sign. So now I am on the lookout for a virgin queen. So let me get this on camera for you. So that cell on your right was the more mature capped cell. So that has hatched since last time. I'm checking for eggs like usual, but first I just want to take a peek into that cell to see what it looks like before they tear it down. This flashlight is such a pain. Alright, well, so much for the flashlight. And that looks kind of weird too, this queen cell here. Man, what is going on there? Huh. Alright, well, now I'm just going to check for eggs, in addition to looking for possibly a virgin queen. There we go. Jeez. Need to clean off these flashlights. I got a lot of crud on them from touching them with the gloves. Yeah, it's just an empty cell at this point. Alright. Good to know. There's some queen cups there too. Here is empty. Actually, that previous frame should tear down that queen cell. Let's do that now before I forget. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Hatched out. And we'll see what happens with that second one. Alright, so still looking for a queen. She might be small and fast. And then in addition to that, Try and reduce this hive down to a single deep. So I wonder if there's still... Is that the queen cell? Yeah, that's the queen cell that I marked. Or queen cup. Yeah, that was dry anyway. Alright. Not in the top box. At least I don't think she is or was. So just like the other hives, I'm going to change the top deep, which will be honey super. I'm going to change it into a 9 frame. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Into a 9 frame deep. So still need a frame. I do have this frame. I'm just going to use this as a placeholder on the end. It's not the best, but it'll have to do, I guess. And then just space them out a little bit. Don't have a frame spacer. Yeah, this frame kind of sucks actually, big time. Man, that is a pain in the butt. I just use this one again. Just space them out. Take your time doing so. Maybe buying a frame spacer this year might not be a bad idea. I'd say that's probably good enough for now. Alright. So now, let's see if we can find the queen in the bottom box. See some of these newer frames, they're drawing out. Should probably look a little closer instead of just pulling a frame out and setting it aside, because a previous hive, it looked like a virgin queen was actually hanging out in a unusual place for me, which is on the outside frame. Yeah, with how light these frames are, once she is mated and returns, she should have plenty of space to lay eggs. Just double check. Yeah, I don't see anything. I didn't think I would, really. Yeah, if my memory serves right, that was the confusion with this colony, is they had eggs. They have eggs right here, so they are queen right. And if that's, well, I mean, I guess the timeline kind of matches up. It is possible that queen, one of those newly hatched queens, made it within the last week and returned. Wish I could find her. That'd be pretty cool. Yeah, there's eggs down in that bottom left corner. Check this one too, because there's a lot of nice pupated larvae throughout here. This frame too has some nice larvae on it. Last frame. Alright, well, did not see the queen at all. Signs of eggs and pupated larvae, so they're about 5 or 6 days old. Just looking on the inside of the box. Well, just have to check on them in another week. I'm going to reduce them down to a single deep, which will be the bottom. The bottom box. I'm going to checkerboard all these frames. You know, I say that, but we do still have some cold weather coming up. So, let's see. Well, we got 4. So I'm going to put the 4 new frames, the frames that don't have anything really built on them. I'm going to put them on the outside, two on each side, and then eventually I'll checkerboard them to where they start drawing them out a little more. So that's 10 frames there. I'm gonna run this as a single deep again. So just slide the queen excluder on top of the bottom box. But yeah, it looks like one of the queens emerged. A little confusing for me because there's still eggs in, well, on one of the frames, so not entirely sure. Not sure what's going on with this one. This one continues to baffle me some. But yeah, just check back in about a week, see how they're doing. Alright, that's that for hive number 3, so that's been reduced to a single deep. Few things going on that come to mind. Still not entirely sure if they're queen right. Did find some eggs which would make you think they're queen right. However, one of the swarm cells, or supersedure cells actually, hatched out from last week. So that's pretty quick in my experience for a new queen to go out, mate, return, and start laying eggs. Usually they spend about a week in the hive before they mate, as far as the more experienced folks that I know, what they say. But either way, I'll check back in 5 to 7 days, see how they're doing. Thanks for watching, everybody. Cole's Farm here in Jacksonville, North Carolina. Again, if you haven't done so, please subscribe to the channel, and if you hit the bell, you'll receive notifications of future videos. Alright, thanks for watching. Let's see what the front of the hive looks like. It's not too chaotic. They'll all make their way back inside the hive within 10 or 15 minutes.